took a lot of work and a little bit of craziness. But we finally got boost on the 440. In this video, I'll show you how we applied boost to our Motorhome Madness 440. You know, a little do-it-yourself turbo kit featuring the stock exhaust manifolds, a little bit of tubing, a little bit more tubing, and pretty soon you're mounting a bitchin' turbo like our 7875 from VS Racing, blowing through a CSU blow-through carburetor. It all works great as long as you have enough time. Before we build boost, let's do a little behind the scenes on the turbo kit. Let's see what went into it. Here's our stock exhaust manifold. So the idea is, not going to be pretty. We're going to put this plate, drill 2 holes in it, then we're going to stick a piece of tubing, boom, right on top of here. It's going to be ugly, but it's going to work. Flange for the turbo kit, nailed it.
Then it was time to remove the pan to install an oil drain, and we found a little surprise.
So I found something after removing the pan to put the drain in it for the turbo. There's a nut at the bottom. It's always good. Okay, as you can see, there's a lot going on, but we got it up. Put the turbo system up and running. Factory exhaust manifolds. Just made these pipes. Bring it out to our Y pipe. This is a Y pipe we use on a big block and a lot of other applications. There's 2 Turbo Smart wastegates on it. Plenty of boost control. Same thing on the other side. Stock exhaust manifold. It's got a pipe coming forward. Got this VS Racing turbo. You can also use something else. Maybe a cheap way to go would be that eBay GT45 turbo. At this power level would be no problem at all. This one's capable of like 1,000 horsepower more. This is a Gen 2 7875. They also have a Gen 1. Good stuff. Our discharge tube. No intercooler because we're running a blow-through carburetor. Turbo Smart blow-off valve. Got a big fatty exhaust going on here. Got our O2 sensor. We're running a CSU blow-through carburetor. Got a boost reference over the regulators. We're changing some jets, adjusting the power valves. Only running maybe about 5 pounds. So we'll take a look and see what we're doing, and then we'll go up and boost. With everything installed, let's make some noise. Some boosted. run some 5.5 pound runs, all working good. Now we're going to install this boost controller. You can see no pluses and minuses. Got an Allen wrench up here. We just turn that to adjust it. Boost goes in here, out here. All we're doing is putting a bleed basically in it, so we're tricking the wastegate. So we'll install that. And we'll put maybe a turn and a half in it. See, that should raise it up a pound, pound and a half or something. We'll see what happens. If we remember back from part 2, after installing the camshaft in our Motorhome 440, it produced 346.8 horsepower and 440.6 foot-pounds of torque. This thing produced over 400 foot-pounds, even down as low as 2,600, so obviously these things were designed with torque production in mind. So now let's take a look and see what happened when we installed boost from our, our custom turbo kit. We started off at 5.5 pounds. That's from our VS Racing Turbo. And remember, this is a blow-through deal, no intercooler, just blowing through that CSU blow-through carburetor. Equipped at 5.5 pounds, this thing made 476.6 horsepower, and torque was way up near 600 foot-pounds at 596. Now this curve kind of continues and kind of follows the factory curve, just it's elevated based on boost. We had a nice flat, pretty consistent boost curve here from that VS Racing Turbo. And it was pretty responsive too, despite the fact that it was designed to make over 1,000 horsepower and we weren't even using half of that. The thing was pretty responsive on this 440, which I liked. Take a look at this power output, and if you follow the Holder patented power boost formula, multiply 5.5. If you take 5.5, divide it by 14.7, add 1, and then multiply that by the NA power output of 346, guess what you come out with? Right near 476 horsepower. So the nice thing is this combination, even on pump gas, was following the formula with the blow-through carburetor acting as the intercooler, because you do get charge cooling drop when you're blowing through the blow-through carburetor. But I like the fact that it followed the formula. We ran this thing on pump gas, and I ran it with, I pulled about 15 degrees of timing out. This thing wanted to run naturally aspirated in the 40, 41 degree timing range. And so I took out 15 degrees for boost. We got a blow-through carburetor. You know, we got low compression. And so I pulled that timing out. This thing worked well. But we obviously didn't stop there. But I do need to point out the fact that I did want to run more boost. And I was hoping to keep bumping the boost up and making more and more power, because the low compression should certainly allow me to do that. But basically I ran out of time. This is late Sunday night, and these guys from Westech have got to get a motor up on the dyno on Monday. And everything that I did with this motor, including building the turbo kit, all the tuning, I mean, everything just took a long time. So there's plenty of power left in this thing, but I think this shows pretty well what this motor would be like in a motorhome, or heck, even like with 6 or 7 pounds running around in, you know, some kind of street car would be pretty cool. But after we turned the boost up to 6.8 pounds, 6.7 pounds, 512 horsepower, torque was over 600 foot-pounds at 618 foot-pounds, which was cool. We tried one more adjustment of our manual wastegate controller and produced 527 horsepower. And torque was way up over 650 foot-pounds. This little spike that you're seeing here, that's the dyno load, because we were basically at 100% servo there. So I needed to readjust it, but this is a good, you know, these are good power gains, and boost is going up, power's going up. It's doing all the things it's supposed to. Just ran out of available dyno time, but I think we ran boost on the Motorhome 440. Worked out pretty well. Let's get to our conclusion. Before getting to the conclusion, I just want to give you guys a quick glimpse of the boost curves. You can see fairly flat. They start out a little bit lower and then rise up, but that's nice. You know, that's a good smooth curve, especially since we didn't have a control or an electronic controller on this. We just had a manual bleed valve, basically. So that's a nice curve. The VS Racing Turbo, doing good stuff there. Okay, guys, what did you think about our test? I know, right off the bat. You didn't run the boost all the way up. You didn't pin the gate. You didn't big bang it. This wasn't that test. Honestly, if I was doing a big bang, I would go about it a lot differently. I would have upgraded that motor because, I mean, let's face it, this motor needs a lot of things to make a lot of power. It needs higher compression. It needs more head flow. It needs a better intake. Then it needs more camshaft to take advantage of all of those things. And that's what I would have done if I was doing a big bang motor. But the biggest thing I would have done was started with my own motor. You see, I can't go big bang somebody else's motor, and since I borrowed this from Freiberger, I want to give it back to him relatively in one piece. But the test is still cool because I wanted to find out if, hey, we have a Motorhome 440. What happens if we add boost to it? Well, it responds like every other motor that we add boost to. But I wanted to do it on pump gas, which we did. Now running 7 pounds, let's say 7.5 pounds on pump gas is not too hard. We took away about 15 degrees of timing. So pump gas and that timing level, I think is real world. I think you could actually take this motor and run it out on the street. Now, I don't know if I'd want to run a motorhome under boost, towing a trailer, lugging up a grade, but maybe you could. What do you guys think? I also know this, since we were making 650 foot-pounds of torque, that would feel really good in a Duster, Charger, or Challenger. And we already know there's a lot more boost left and a lot more motor left. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. Come on, we just boosted a 440 from a motorhome.